Well, good morning, everybody. This is Betty Shan, and everything outside is pointing toward Christmas time. Everybody's out buying their gifts and sharing their presents and different things. And it brought back memories, which I want to stop and say first that we've had some new ones join, and we're glad you've joined with us. And we hope you enjoy this. I try to bring some points out that'll bring back remembrance of days in past, or that it will encourage you in whatever you're going through to know that you're doing the right thing, or maybe we can encourage you to do some things that you haven't done and do them different. Sometimes that helps as a parent. Like I said, many a time, I raised these girls around here, but I sure didn't have no guidebook to go by. I made my mistakes just like you're going to make your mistakes, but I hope I can help you where you don't have to make them all like some of them I did. Okay. Anyway, it's close to Christmas time, and I hope you're merry and bright and you're real excited about Christmas. And I got to thinking back about some of our most rememberable Christmases that we had, and I thought of one that I thought, well, I'm gonna tell them what happened because we raised our children. Uh, the kids that go around at Christmas time, around Christmas time. Well, I want this and I want that, and they'd always have a list of things before Christmas got here on what they wanted. And I told my husband, I said, look, Edgel, we need to teach these kids that it's not all about them at Christmas time. That there's kids out there that's not going to get the things they get, and they're not going to have a Christmas like they're having. So every year we tried to find somebody that needed help at Christmas time. It wasn't hard to find people that need help, and this year there's sure a lot of people out there that could use a little help and encouragement. But you can't do it all for everybody, but you can help somebody. And I always have prayed that God would lead us to somebody that needed some help, that we could help, that our ways and means would help them where they would have a brighter Christmas for them and their family, and a little bit of God in there where they will understand that even in the scripture it says, it is Jesus quoted and said in Acts 20 and 35, that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And through the years, we've learned that through many different ways. We've had contacts with schools, we've had contacts with churches, and then we've just met people that we knew that needed help. And if you can reach out and help somebody, you will feel good about it. I thought of that scripture a many a time where the Bible said it's more blessed to give than to receive. And I thought, well, Lord, yeah, it is a blessing to give, but it's also sometimes a blessing to receive. And then I got to thinking about the scripture more, thinking, getting getting my thoughts down. And it does give you a blessing to see that you have helped someone that needs help. But also, it is a blessing if you're able to help others and you don't need to receive stuff yourself. That God has blessed you where you can bless others. And I'd much rather be blessing someone than feeling like I need somebody to help me and bless me. Now, I'm not got too much pride. If I needed help, I would accept the help. But I am thankful that God has supplied our needs and made it where we can help others instead of having to have the help all the time. And I always told the girls, I said, look for somebody that nobody else wants to help. I said, there's some people out there that people's always willing to give to them, and they'll hand them over stuff. But there's some people out there that they don't choose to help them for some reason. And I want to tell you of an incident. This is the story that I've got to tell you today. And I hope it blesses you, and I hope that maybe you can learn something through it. My children did. I've got a daughter that's a pastor's wife, and they help several people all the time. And then I've got a daughter that is a works with the school system, and she helps with different ones. I mean, I've helped her even gather up stuff for homeless and what have you. So, it is a blessing to be able to help others. You find more of a thrill and more of a contentment of mind if you're able to help others. So, we're going to go back a few years, and we're going to get in my car and we're going to make a trip down Carlsbad because it's Christmas time. And there's Christmas ornaments and things hanging on houses, and things are just decorated to the T. Some years they have them more than they do other years. But this year that I'm talking about, there was quite a few ornaments out, and we took the kids out, and we put the kids in the car, and we drove up and down the streets looking at Christmas decorations the night before Christmas. And as we made this trip, I mentioned to my husband that we had a family that had come to our church, and they'd been there several times, but all of a sudden they just quit coming. They hadn't been there in over a week, and I said something about we sure have missed this new family that moved to town, and they come for a while, but then they quit. And he said, we're out riding around. Said, Bet, what do you think about us just riding over there and checking on them and seeing and telling them we missed them at church and everything? And I said, oh, I'm always for that. So we drove over there, and my husband went to the door and knocked on the door, and the man come to the door, and he kept insisting that we come in. He wanted us to come in. So he come back, Edgel come back out to the car, and he got us, and we all went in and was sitting around talking, and their little boy happened to run into the living room. And I heard him say to his mama, he said, but Mama, I'm hungry. And she said, shh, and told him to sit down or move back. And he said, but I'm hungry. And of course I heard these words, but that's just an action of a kid. You let somebody come in, let's eat something. But anyway, we talked a little bit, and pretty soon this little boy run across in front of me and run to the kitchen, which where I was sitting, I could see in the kitchen. And of course, my girls was sitting beside me on the couch where we could see the little boy. And he run in and he opened up the refrigerator door. And I mean, it was just perfect where we could see everything that was in that refrigerator. And all that was in the refrigerator that night was a pitcher of water. I mean, there was no ketchup. There was no part of a gallon of milk, no butter. There was nothing. It had looked like they had just moved in the house and hadn't went and bought groceries yet. But they'd been there over a week, or 2 weeks, really. And the little boy was saying he was hungry. Well, I didn't say anything. I just sat there. But as our visit ended, which we didn't stay long, we just went by to tell them we missed them. And as we were leaving, when we got in the car, I told my husband, I said, we hit the little boy what had happened, and the little boy had run across there, and he told his mama he was so hungry. And I said, Edgel, he opened the refrigerator, and there wasn't nothing but a pitcher, and it had water in it. And I said, did you girls see that? And they said, uh-huh. And so we went from there, we went to 7-Eleven, and I went in and I bought eggs, and I bought milk, and I bought bread, and I bought several things in there that I didn't have at home to share. And that was the only thing that we could find open was a 7-Eleven convenience store at night. So we come back home, and I went into my freezer, and I said, okay, girls, I said, some of this Christmas candy and stuff we've got sitting around, let's take it to some of it to them. We'll keep some, but we'll share some with this family. So the girls gathered it up, and we took it over to their house. My husband went to the door and knocked on the door, and he took those bags of groceries in, and of course I put toilet tissue and different things that they might need in there. And that that was such a example to the children that they never forgot that. And every year at Christmas time, we tried to find somebody or someone that was in need. And that made our Christmas become a different type of Christmas. We don't think of Christmas just for ourselves and the toys we get or what we get for Christmas. We try to think of others at Christmas times. And you may not think so, but this has made a difference in my children's lives because when they recognize the need of somebody needing something, they're more apt to help them now. And I'm just thankful that God helps us sometimes to raise our children. We raise them like we want them to be. If we want to be good citizens in the community, we try to make them take note of the community. If we want them to be good saints in the church, we try to be the saints that we want our children to be. And I want you to keep your chin up, but I also want you to have a Merry Christmas. And if someone shows up in your picture and they need help through Christmas, remember it is more blessed to give than to receive. God bless you. Hold your chin up, smile, have a good time, and be with your family. We'll see you probably after Christmas. Bye.